I sometimes try to map out on a blank piece of paper like this where I think humanity is at with the ecological crisis. And this helps me, among other things, to come to terms with reality. And I decided to share this exercise with you, listeners of the Conscient podcast, in case you have similar thoughts. So I'll start on the left here with mitigation, which is the act of reducing the severity or painfulness of an activity. And in this case, we are mitigating our own self-destruction. The second part of my map is adaptation, which is the modification of our behavior that makes us more resilient. So in other words, adapting to disasters and catastrophe as the new normal, adapting to new circumstances. Now the third part of my map is called the tipping point line. And that's where unstoppable changes take place. A kind of tipping into a point of no return. Now some say we're already there, and others that we're very close. But either way, the tipping point is a critical moment, and it's one that we need to be aware of. Next is survival, which is about continuing life in spite of extremely difficult conditions. It makes me think of the film Thelma and Louise. Some of you might know the very last scene when the car drives off a cliff. And I think that humanity is in that situation, in a type of free fall towards a crash, and that some of us might survive that crash. The last element of my map is recovery, which is a bit more positive, but the recovery happens after the catastrophe and the disasters that are coming. And recovery is that return to a normal or healthy state, where we recover knowledge and skills that are required and maybe draw upon new knowledge in order to live in harmony with all living beings on Earth. And of course, it's ironic and tragic that we actually could do this now, but choose not to. So these are the 5 elements of my map: mitigation, adaptation, tipping point, survival, and recovery. But the problem is that I'm wrong. The map is wrong. The truth is, I don't know. There are endless possibilities and dimensions that I'm not yet able to conceive or understand, and yet sometimes, somehow, I can feel them. So I'm done with drawing maps and speculating with thoughts and ideas, and instead I'm going to listen to the intelligence of my own body, to the intelligence of non-human beings around me, and to other forms of knowledge and being that are emerging, and see where that takes me. Thanks for listening. Oh, and my question is, what possibilities do you not yet know?